Alright, I'm going to spend this video on going over the class syllabus for IENG393B, Systems Engineering Software Lifecycle Management. This is the Spring 2020 class syllabus. Our meeting time and location, we're online, so we'll be doing everything through eCampus. Our time frame is March 9th through May 8th. I'm your instructor, Marcus Fisher. And here is my contact information, my phone number, and my email. You can send me a text. You can send me an email. I get those pretty instantly. You can, if you send me a text, make sure you qualify it with that you're in this class, ING, and you're a student in the class. I get a lot of text messages, so if you just send me a random question, then I might not understand what it's in reference to. So send me a text, you can call the number, or you can send the email. That's probably the best way. In the class website on eCampus, as you know, we have the capability to send course messages. You can do that. I might not get that instantly. I only get those whenever I log in at my desktop. However, if you send a text or an email, I get those on my phone, so I get those fairly quickly. So it's up to you. Now, having said all this, we're all online. If for some reason you think you need to discuss a topic a little bit more in depth, we can certainly meet face to face. So you can send a message and we might be able to find a meeting time. So, not a problem. All right. About this course, this is the software engineering class, software lifecycle management. So, with that, we need to be learning about software engineering. We will not be going over this material with the intent that you're going to become a software engineer. What we are going to be doing is going over this material with the intent that you will be working with, you will be leading, you will be managing, you will be interacting with software engineering projects. So again, all of the material that we're going to be going over will be coming from that perspective. You will be leading, you will be managing the development of a software product. So to do that, we need to understand the software engineering concepts and the processes, what we call the life cycle, so that you'll know how to interact and work on projects such as that. So you can read this paragraph, but I want to jump right to the learning objectives. So these 4 learning objectives is what's going to be our target, our goal for the end of these 8 weeks. So the first one, I want to make sure that each of you will be able to understand the concepts and terminology, be able to use them from a practitioner's point of view. When we're talking about those concepts for software engineering lifecycle management, you'll be fluent in those concepts. The second objective, we want you to be able to demonstrate, which means be able to demonstrate that you understand the software engineering processes and methodologies relative to managing the lifecycle. So again, relative to the role that you might be serving as an intern or once you graduate, wherever you might be going to work. The third learning objective will be you need to demonstrate an understanding of software configuration management. So as the software product goes through various versions, you've got to be able to manage those versions. And the fourth learning objective, you need to demonstrate an understanding of quality management. How do you make sure that we don't have quality escapes, which means something goes wrong in our software product? And how do you make sure that the end product is of high quality? So these are the 4 things I'll be holding myself to make sure that I transfer those knowledge and those skills. And we'll be making sure that we'll be assessing you all and make sure this is what you get out of the class. The prerequisite for the course is IENG305, the Introduction to Systems Engineering. As far as reference material, I don't have a required. So reference material, I don't have a required textbook. There will be 2 major books that I'll be referring to through these 8 weeks. Both of them can be obtained online. The first one is The Mythical Man Month by Fred Brooks. It was written some time ago. However, it is pretty much a staple that everybody that works in the software industry knows Fred Brooks's book, The Mythical Man Month. So, with that, we'll be using that during the course of these 8 weeks, and you will be reading the whole book. The second book will be Software Engineering, A Practitioner's Approach by Roger Pressman. The latest version, the latest edition is like the 9th or 10th edition. If you Google it, there is a PDF version of the 7th edition. I know that. That will be just fine. I don't refer it, like I never make references to like page 48. Let's do that question. I don't use that book in that respect. I use the book just from a reference material. When you have to do a reading assignment, when you have to do a homework assignment, I give you the questions that you have to answer. So get both of these books. They're online, so they're not, you don't have to buy anything. Additionally, you will have various reading assignments through the course, and I'll provide those. You'll be able to access those on eCampus, and I'll give you homework assignments as well. Okay, the requirements for the course. Well, you have to participate in the class discussions. Well, what does that mean? Because we're online. So what does participating in a discussion mean? Well, for an online class, that means participating in the discussion forums where you submit threads to the discussion forum based on whatever the topic is and whatever the assignment calls for you to talk about. And you'll need to be responding to other people's discussion threads. So when there's a discussion thread each week, you'll have an assignment that you have to submit a discussion to a particular topic. So you will go to, well, let's see if I can do this here. I need to transfer control. I don't know if that'll do that, but maybe it will. You also have to humor me. It's the first time I'm using Camtasia Studio. Anyways, here's eCampus that I'm pulling up. And on eCampus, you'll have discussion threads. Here's the discussion board. If this isn't showing up in the video, then I apologize. I'll figure this out. And so for like the first week, you have discussion 1. You'll go in here and you'll be able to create a thread. And so what is expected of you is that you create one of those discussion threads, but you also respond to somebody's discussion thread. And all of your threads that you submit or post have to be relevant and have some substance to them. And I'll talk about that here. Actually, it'll be the last thing we'll talk about. So you'll have to participate by submitting threads to the discussion forum. You will have reading assignments. You will have homework assignments. And last but not least, I don't accept late assignments. So most of the time, everything is due on Sunday night by midnight. That's pretty much the rhythm that will follow in this class. Make sure you get everything submitted by Sunday night at midnight. If you miss that date time frame, I don't accept anything late. Now, if you have a completely legitimate emergency excuse, then by all means, bring it up. But if you don't, then I don't accept it. I work outside of the university and industry, and we don't tolerate late products being delivered. And so you need to get in the habit of making sure when something's due, you get it done by that time. Okay. Next topic is class grade. You can see the breakout right here. 25% is allocated to homework, 50% is discussion, so that's very important. And reading assignments, 25%. Here's the breakout. Confidentiality, I do not share anything about you, your information, your grades. So if anybody contacts me, I will not provide it. Even a family member, if they say, hey, this is my son's in your class, I want to know how well they're doing, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go through the proper channels. So academic integrity, I expect whatever you submit to be your work. No copying and submitting someone else's work, that's going to be not tolerated. If you want to work together and discuss ideas, it's not a problem there. However, when it comes down to submitting your work, you submit your work, literally. So, And then here's initial look at our schedule. Initial schedule for the class. It's broken down by weeks. We have 8 weeks for this class. So week 1, which is the week of March 9th, we'll be going over module 1. It's Introduction to Software Engineering. You will have discussion number 1 due, and you will have homework assignment number 1 due. Then the next week after that, that's week 2, be March 16th. The week of March 16th, you have module 2 we'll be going over, which is software engineering life cycles and management of that, those life cycles. That will be discussion, and then you will have an assignment, discussion number 2, and you'll have a reading assignment. So you'll be able to look at then week 3, you can see the cadence. You can see what I'm talking about here, the pattern. So I give you what week, what's the date, what's the topic, and then what you're expected to turn in. Okay? That's the initial schedule. And then the last topic will be those discussion threads, because this makes up 50% of your grade. So number 1, you have to make sure whatever you post in those discussion threads, they have substance to them. Just don't randomly pick a bunch of big words and focus on, well, I have to make sure I submit 2 paragraphs. I could care less about the length of your discussion thread. What I'm looking for is that you have some substance, that whatever the topic is, you're having a meaningful dialogue or a meaningful response to whatever the topic is. You're utilizing references that you've researched and that you understand the topic so that it's substantial, and you're supporting an opinion that you've drawn some conclusion about this topic. And then the second characteristic I'm looking for is that's relevant. Okay, so even if you're responding to someone else's thread, which you have to do, again, with the discussion post, you have to submit your own discussion thread, and you've got to respond to somebody else's. Make sure it's relevant. So make sure you're talking about that topic and you're just not throwing out fluff words. So you're regurgitating what somebody else already said, and make sure it has substance to it. So that's what I'll be grading you on relative to the discussion. All right, so here's the video. This is take like number 2 I've done. Hopefully I'll get a handle of these videos and video recordings. Go back up. Remember, here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me. And then the next video I'll try to create will be on Learning Module 1.